Shalom. All double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men that are doing his work in sincerity and in truth across the four corners of the earth, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. And much love to the one-third and the innumerable multitude of you believers out there. To you all, I say shalom. I'm the brother Yeshaya from the Great Millstone West Palm Beach Church, and I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. All right, forgive me if I'm coughing a little bit. I don't feel sick, just throat been feeling itchy. So forgive me. But I think I'm going to entitle this I Can Totally See, or something like it is becoming evident how the beast will hate the whore. All right. You can see it. And so I'm gonna get one verse here from Revelation 17, but then I'm gonna come back to it and go back through it. It's been a little time since I've gone over this, but I just did my little refresh research real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, but I want to read this one first, and then I'll come back to the chapter, because I do want to read at about verse about verse 11, somewhere in there. But right now I'm just going to read Revelation 17 and verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and it shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." All right. So when you go into these 10 horns, that comes from what's now been formed into the EU, right? You got EU and NATO. But the 10 horns is because when before EU was called the EU, it was what we know as the EEC. Okay, so those were it was really 12 countries, but there were 10 countries because like 4 of the countries were kind of combined. But the EEC, so back in 1993, it was created under the Treaty of Rome, Treaty of Rome of 1957, and so that's when the formation of the EU came about, and that's when they and renamed it and all of that stuff. But it was the European Economic Community, and so now these countries, based on the EU and based on NATO, now you can see why they're going to start to hate America. I mean, and why, when it's so let me just expound on this. So it says, these shall hate the whore. So you're going to have these conglomerate of countries that are supposed to be in a united front, if you will, with EU and with NATO. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And you can see why these countries are going to start to hate America. Elder Apostle Tariq always goes into how America is going to do something that's going to extremely anger the nations, And the way Donald Trump is moving, I mean, hey, Karla Yabashima Shah, he moving according to the will of the Lord, right? But he's making a lot of fast, drastic moves. And he's only been in the office about 2 or 3 weeks, and he's doing a lot of things. Okay. And so it says, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So how is that going to happen? That's going to ultimately come down by thermonuclear missiles. That's how she's going to be burnt with fire. Right. And so this is that great day of judgment that the Heavenly Father mentions, that people don't really know what the day of judgment goes into. Judgment Day is ultimately where who the world even calls Jesus Christ makes his return to the earth, and the chariots of the Lord are going to arrive, and World War III is going to be at its height, and these other countries are going to shoot thermonuclear missiles to destroy America. Now, there are other places that are going to get hit with missiles and chariots flying everywhere, zapping people and things like that. But the Lord's elect are going to be delivered. Lord willing, will be in that number. And the rest of the people here in America, they're going to be destroyed, man. That lake of fire that's mentioned in the book of Revelation. All right. So she's going to be utterly burnt with fire. So this is a country, Babylon the Great, that's going to be utterly burnt with fire. So like I mentioned, Donald Trump's doing a lot of things, and we pray, Lord willing, it ends under his reign, man. But I wanted to just get some of the things he's been doing since he's been in office, and I'm not gonna read through everything. I'm just gonna read the main titles of some of the things he's been doing. This first one is from an article from theguardian.com. It says Donald Trump has signed dozens of executive orders in his first weeks back in office. And they go down the list, so I'm not going to finish the reading that part. But it says migrant detention center at Guantanamo Bay. Okay, so you can see how that could even anger Cuba again. Okay, gender affirming care, that's through. Oh, well, actually, that's righteous, honestly. It's signed in order to attempt to end gender transition for people under 19. It shouldn't happen at all, but that's righteous. But you can see Americans will start to hate that because, and even other countries, because the thing is, it says that they have drunken the wine of his fornication. And I got that in the NLT later. And it goes, I'm saying, it goes into their passionate immorality. Okay. For their fornication, like how wicked these people are and what they made the other countries and nations to do. All right. It says reshaping the military. So which is good as well, because we got the softest military in the world. So that all that transgenderism, what I'm saying, that's a good thing. Start a process to develop an American Iron Dome. So of course they under the rule of Amalek, the so-called JWs, JOOs, right? Who really is Donald Trump is a puppet for them. Okay. However, it says Trump signed an executive order on January 27th that will begin the process of creating a next generation missile defense shield, which the administration is referring to as the American Iron Dome. But see, that's not going to happen, right? You understand that the Bible says it's the land of unwalled villages. Okay, that's never going to happen. And then when you read the book of Joel, let me go to that one real quick. That's a good verse. When you go to the book of Joel, it lets us know that whatever missile defense system that they try to invoke, it's not going to work either. It's not going to be in their favor. American Iron Dome. All right, let me see here. Let's see, Joel 2. It says, let me see here. Verse 7. They shall run like mighty men. He's talking about missiles. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Talking about the missiles coming to destroy America. And neither shall one thrust another, and they shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So this is right. That's the verse that I wanted to get. So this is saying they're not going to bump into each other. They're not going to accidentally blow up each other. But then when America has a missile defense system, those things are going to keep on coming. America thinking it's going to have some nuclear disarmament, some missile defense, but they'll shoot the part of the missile that's meant to break off or something. Or they have flares. They might even create missiles with flares. If anybody ever watched like action movies or played like Call of Duty, what they have is if you got a heat seeker that's following behind you, you release these flares off the helicopter, and it makes the heat seeker follow the heat of the flare, so then your plane doesn't get hit, right? But they're not gonna. The missile defense system that America's creating is not gonna work, man. All right, this is the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai. It's nothing that Esau can do to stop those missiles. So, he said he got an American Iron Dome. But just reading this part here, it says, creating a short-range missile defense system akin to Israel's Iron Dome would take years to build. Okay? It says it would take years to build. So he couldn't even build a wall the last 4 years he was here. You think he's going to get the Iron Dome? No, it's not going to happen. Review of disaster agency FEMA. Okay. It says declassifying MLK and JFK files, removing barriers to AI innovation and investing in digital financial assets. The CHIP, they're trying to get that CHIP coming. They try to make it about crypto, but it's the CHIP coming. All right. Ending birthright citizenship. So a lot of people are immigrants and undocumented people. So that's targeting a lot of countries already. So we know we've been going in about NK and getting deported, but you know how many countries of people have these type of legal, and it says even says and some legal immigrants. You see, so it says the order specifies that it will limit birthright citizenship if a person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said someone's birth, or when that person's mother present in the United States at the time the said a person's mother was lawful but temporary. So they're taking back a lot of the things that they had going on before. And even a judge said it was blatantly unconstitutional. So you can see how even countries, they could have people here who are on work, who are on business, who had this set up, and it's going to be not in their favor anymore. All right, it says put a freeze on refugee admissions. So refugees that were able to come into the country, they're not able to come down. They're slowing that down. That can anger countries. Leaving the World Health Organization. All right, it says the U.S. will leave the World Health Organization in 12 months' time and stop all financial contributions to its work. The U.S. is the biggest financial backer to the United Nations Health Agency. See, the UN, you know, the biggest one, that's where you get most of your money from, you know, and anybody that knows about business, your main financial backing, you know, when that goes away, it turns the tide of your whole business structure. Okay? Another reason. So you got the UN mad at you, man. Right? That's a whole nother reason for the nations start to get upset. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico. He wanted to call it the Gulf of America. Right? Oh, and not to mention all of these tariffs that they're doing. He's trying to do right now on Mexico and Canada. So you even getting your neighbors upset with you. Right? When you know you messing up with your neighbors, it's going to get bad. Revoking electric vehicle targets. Reclassifying federal employees, making them easier to fire. So now you're getting your own people mad at you that work for the government, that they're not liking them. And a lot of, you know, I was recently going in with the VA and federal government. You know, they was giving them time to resign and all of this stuff. They trying to fire a lot of them and repurpose that money. They ain't saying what it's for, but I know it's for military troops and things like that. Declaring a national energy emergency and unleash oil production in Alaska. Creating a policy recognizing only two genders, that's lawful. Pausing the TikTok ban, which is a big thing. You know, he paused it, but that's a big thing against China, all these tariffs against China. So I guess with the sanctions, he said he paused the ones for, they met an agreement for Mexico and Canada, but they haven't made an agreement for China yet. And China we get our most imports from China. All right. Rescinding 78 Biden era executive actions. So a lot of things that Biden did, he just undid them. Declaring a national border emergency. So not letting a lot of people to come into the states that had plans on coming in. Issuing pardons for January 6th defendants. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. So a Paris Climate Agreement, he's saying it's a ripoff and it's unfair to our country. And I forget which one of these it says, like, maybe that's the other article, but he's taking like, so let me get a couple of my scriptures here. This is Obadiah 1. In 1 it says the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, right? Which is Edom is referring to you so-called white people, and ultimately even Babylon, right? That's where the land of the Edomites, Basra, Babylon, America. It says concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. And so that's what's going to ultimately happen. Everybody's going to rise up in battle against Esau, Edom, against America too, man. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So so-called white people are greatly despised on the earth, but especially the current state of America. The The pride of this place, man. The wickedness. We had a dude at camp the other day. We told Americans gonna burn. That's never going to happen. How, bro? Why would you say how do you believe that? How do you know that? And, instead of you let your pride get the best of them. But see that white pride, that white privilege pride that's on them, that Edomite pride is going to be their downfall, man. All right. Jeremiah 49:13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. And that's ultimately what's going to happen to America. It's going to be utterly destroyed. There's nothing going to be here, right? That's going to be the will of the Heavenly Father to bring this place to naught. Okay, and people are gonna see. He think he wants to beautify Bluffington, man. He wants to revitalize America, but it's too late. It's too far gone, man. And we are talking about he got that fatal cut. Somebody get a fatal wound, a fatal cut. Ain't nothing you can do to save the. The doctor comes in the room and he says, "I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do." That's what's happening to America, man. All right. Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So all of the nations went for all of the BS and nonsense and filth and wickedness that they put out, and they drunk of that, man. So now the nations are upset. And they're upset with America, man. They only going to get more and more mad to the point where they're going to press the button and fire missiles on this place. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. So that's what you do when you're in pain and when you're wounded. You're supposed to take balm and you put an ointment on it to be able to cure and get rid of the infection so you can heal back properly. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So you can't heal Babylon. There's no healing for this place. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth into heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So America's not trying to let people in, but people going to start leaving, man. I want to get the hell up out of here. Her judgment, they going, you see the thing, whenever like an attack or something happens on a country, especially if a country gets a heads up. So what they do is, if they know they have citizens there or especially governmental employees and I'm forgetting the ambassadors. I forget the other place that I'm thinking of too. But they'll tell them, hey, come back home. Basically, they'll give them the heads up because they know that something terrible is about to happen. So it's about to get bad here. And people going to be like, man, we getting the hell up out of here because America's about to burn. Okay? Let me see here. I'm going to read verse 11. It says, I'll read 10. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord, our power. So, hey, this is the judgment that's going to fall upon America. It's going to be the work of our God, man. Right? There's no other God that's taking credit for thermonuclear missiles burning America. That's how you're going to know it's Yahweh and Yahweh Shah that did it. It says, make bright. What other group of people is saying that? And when it happens, hey, they shall know that a prophet have been among them. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Right? The arrows are talking, make bright the arrows. That's talking about missiles that are going to be on fire. When you see always they are show like when something's in space and it's coming down, breaking back through the, the movies when they show like a rocket or a piece of metal or something coming back down to Earth. It lights up because of the speed that is falling to the earth. And so it said, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Right? Russia is turned up right now. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it. Right? His device is against Babylon to destroy it because the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So it's on the Lord's mind and his great will that he wants to destroy America, man. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. All right? So now let me read back here. It says, this is Forbes.com. Here's how Trump's executive orders align with Project 2025. And so Project 2025 was this thing they did. It was like a far right policy they created a couple years ago, and Donald Trump said he had nothing to do with it. But it's supposed to be like a total change of like the executive branch, but he's doing a lot of things that are falling in line with it. Okay, like so the big thing right now is DEI. I know y'all brothers have seen that. That stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, so they're trying to change a lot of things throughout the government, the private sector, equal opportunity employment, discrimination, equality, things like that. Okay. It says among the DEI policies, Trump revoked his a 60-year-old policy from 1965 that prohibited employment discrimination by government tractors and empowers the government to impose consequences for any discriminatory practices. But he changing that, man. He don't give a damn now. He basically saying F all you people, man. F you minorities. You know, they don't care about that no more. All right, border security and defense. That says a funding freeze. All right. Let me see here. Blocked to government agents from spending funds appropriated from the Biden era infrastructure. So a lot of agreements were made during that. He's shutting the money off of that. Education. He's changing how education and gender ideology is. I mentioned the Paris Climate Agreement, climate change, energy. Okay, abortion. Right. Got a big thing over. And so foreign policy. This is one of the ones I wanted to get. It says Trump signed an executive order calling for the Secretary of State to put the agency's operations in line with the America First foreign policy. Right? Echoing Project 2025's call for the State Department to refocus its mission and ensure that the interests of American citizens are given priority. So I can understand the mentality that he's coming with that, but he's not even put Americans first. So this is just a myth, right? But ultimately, you know, with the American first mentality, that means you're basically saying F the rest of the world. And so all of them are going to start to get upset at what the things that he's doing. And so this just reminds me of Daniel the 7th chapter when it says he's more stout than his fellows. You know, you can very much see how this place is going to start to corrode, man. Okay? Now let me go back here. Let me read. Oh yeah, I was gonna get that. So this is Revelation 14 and verse. I started 7, saying with a loud voice, "Fear Yahweh and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come." Facts. And worship Him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, "Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." So in the NLT that says, then another angel followed him saying through the sky shouting, "Babylon is fallen, that great city is fallen," right? That great city. He said this is the golden era of America, golden age. Hey, that great city that you think is golden, that golden city is going to fall. Because she made all the nations the nations of the world drink the wine of her passionate immorality. You know, so much wickedness America has made the other nations to follow after. And so it's gonna fall because of it, man. Okay. Let me go back here. So yeah, I talked about the World Health Organization. Hiring fees for career civil servants. Big thing on transgender rights. I mentioned refugees. It says they're trying to block sanctuary cities. So they're supposed to have a safe haven there. He's trying to reenact and big up the enforce the death penalty where appropriate and applicable. So hey, man, and this is ultimately, you know, me and the brothers we was talking about, like, ultimately this is to bring back this is for the guillotine. All right, this is what you got to understand, right? He's trying to enact this for prophecy's sake. Let me go ahead and get that. Trying to make that applicable, right? Right, they want to take the heads of the men of the Lord. This is Revelation 24. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. You see that? So, that's why he's trying to make that. He says, I'm gonna read it. It says Trump directed his attorney general to pursue the death penalty where applicable, as in Project 2025, which says the federal government should enforce the death penalty where appropriate and applicable, and actually went even further than Project 2025, saying the death penalty should be imposed in crimes involving the murder of law enforcement officers and capital offenses committed by undocumented immigrants, regardless of other factors. But they just want to be able to have the right to take our heads if they want to. Okay. Security clearances. So certain people that can't go in without full background check processes. So you have a lot of people that are foreigners that have certain level of security clearances, and they won't be able to have it in certain situations. So he's angering a lot of people by making these stances, man. All right, by doing the things they do. He's changing military policies. Okay. And man, he's just getting started. Like I said, it's only a couple weeks in. He said, if y'all give me the president, y'all will never have to vote again. You know, he's basically saying he's about to run this forever. But Lord willing, Trump this time Revelation 18 and verse 3. And this goes into the tariffs too, if you will. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So, them tariffs, they trying to, China makes so much money off America. We are their number one customer. So, even the other nations are going to be upset because of these shutting down things where we can't get them from other countries. That's going to make our prices more high, and it's going to make the other countries more angry. Okay? Because you're messing up their pockets too. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her plagues, and that that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's the deliverance of the men of the Lord, the elect, to get beamed up, so that we not around when the shit hits the fan, aka when the missiles come to hit America. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. All right, I'm gonna jump down. Excuse me, I'll just keep reading. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double, how much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. Right? That's how they glorify themselves. Right? Americans glorify themselves and they live deliciously. No problem, acting like they don't got no problems in the world. Like everything is great. Not knowing that World War III is ensuing. Not knowing that Yahweh Shai is about to return. So much torment and sorrow give her. And that's exactly what America's about to feel real soon. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Americans live like they won't ever have any problems. Like their houses are going to continue forever. But the Lord's about to smack this bitch in the face. Or the backhand. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So, the scriptures talk about in 1 hour. In 1 hour is the judgment come upon America, man. All right, so it's about to get bad out here, man. All right, it's about to get bad. This country is gonna get nuked. Excuse me, y'all. It's gonna get nuked, man. And people they have no clue, man. I'm gonna go back to Revelation 17 because I said I would come back to it. Let me see here. Revelation 17 and 10. It says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right, so he got the 7 kings. All right, and it says 1 is. So those are the heads. You got the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, Germanium Major, Germanium Minor, and the one that's to come is Britain. Okay, that was the one that's not yet come. Okay, and during this time, right? And so it says, and the beasts. It says, 5 are fallen. So the 5 that were fallen were the Greeks, the Spanish, the French, Germanium Major, Germanium Minor. And the Roman Empire was ruling at the time. Okay? And then it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition. And that's going to be Babylon, America, man. All right? And that little horn. Okay? And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive a power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that 1 hour is equated to like 1 hour with the Lord is about 42 years. All right. It says these have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. All right. So the EU, NATO, they got their power, and ultimately it's going to be the undoing. Right. Yahweh Shai and prophecy is the undoing of America, but ultimately the beast is going to hate the whore. And so when it says the beast shall hate the whore, matter of fact, I'm going to get into that soon. It says these shall make war with the lamb, and the lamb shall overcome them. So ultimately when Yahweh Shah returns, they're going to try to fight against the Lord, but they're all going to lose. It says for the lamb shall overcome them. So he's going to win that war. For he is the Lord of lords and kings of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Right? And Lord willing, we be those men, be called and chosen and faithful. All right? And the angels too. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And right? So America's governing over all of these people, but ultimately it's going to be their demise, man. All right? It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. All right, so I mentioned how that was the how that's the EU, the EEC, right? The ten horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right? So you're gonna have EU and NATO, you're gonna have them ultimately hate America, and so when you have all of those countries, that's a vast amount of countries that are involved in those, right? Ultimately, it's the world, right? To the point where the world is gonna hate the whore. The whore is America. According to we read the beginning of Revelation, the 17th chapter, it says, "Mystery Babylon, the mystery harlot, that's decked in scarlet." You know, that's America, man. Okay, America is the whore. So these countries are going to hate America, and you can see how Donald Trump is revving up the effort to for the countries and the nations to hate this place. All right, so we can see how this place is going to fall soon. Lord willing to be hastened, and Lord willing it comes sooner and sooner, man. It says, "And the 10 horns without saws upon a beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire," man. So we're coming into the time where we're seeing prophecy just take over, right? And ultimately, Esau Edom is going to be shut down and destroyed, man. All right, it's going to be shut down and destroyed, and it's nothing. It's nothing that America's going to be able to do about it, right? You can't win this battle, right? You can't win this battle. It's nothing you can do to overcome this. He says you're going to lose to these other countries. Going to shoot these missiles. Yahweh Shai is going to come, and he's going to overcome you. So you can't win. You know, y'all pumping Donald Trump up, thinking that he's the way, but Lord willing, he the man for the job, and you know he angers these countries, and Lord willing, he keep going hard and thinking he's doing the right thing. But that's what I was gonna say. He's really trying to become a tyrannic dictator, a tyrannical dictator. He's trying to be a dictator, trying to rule the way. To undo all of, like, look, at the end of the day, Biden was through. Don't get me wrong. But to undo all of the executive orders the past president did, that's just wicked, bro. I'm sure, now, I know they all do wicked stuff, but I'm sure there were some of them that could have been seemingly positive. You know, but to undo all of that, he's basically saying, my rule, my era, this is how it's going to go down. Fuck everything he did, because who was the president before Biden? It was Donald Trump. So he basically saying, I'm still ruling, undo everything he did. Let's just erase his whole path. You see what I'm saying? So, hey man, it's about to get real out here. We see and how he's conducting himself, and to know that these times are coming. And that's why you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, this is why y'all need to repent, man, because these times that are coming are going to be grievous. And it says the time of Jacob's trouble is at hand, man. So when these let's say these tariffs and these and sanctions and things do start to happen, let's say inflation starts to occur more and more, your prices are already through the roof, man. Let's be real. you get to the point where you can't afford anything and prices gone crazy, who are you going to call on, man? Is Jesus going to save you? Right? Are you all your idol gods going to save you? Are they going to come to your rescue? Right? No, they're not going to do anything. They're going to sit there and they're just going to watch you getting jacked up, right? While you sitting up here scoffing and not believing in the men of the Lord, not believing in the Bible. But this is why the judgment of the 2/3 of our people is coming too, man. Right? Because y'all are right hand in hand with Esau. And it says, though he join hand in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Of the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. All right? Excuse me. I know I've been coughing, sounding weird, y'all, so forgive me. But it's about to get real out here, man. All right, so I pray Yahweh Shemel Shai help us through these situations. All right, and help us ward off these demons. Okay, and stay strong in the faith unto death, man. So I pray, Lord willing. Sheesh, hold on. Brother, I gotta say this since it's one topic. I just happened to open in one of the chat, and the brother sent the prices of everything that's gonna come up. So from Mexico, it has a list of all these things. They all went up 25%, and Canada, they're expected to go up 25%. So I'm gonna just name some of them. They're all going up from both countries. I guess from the tariffs and stuff, but the countries probably raised their prices. Avocados, tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, strawberries, limes, mangoes, blueberries, bananas, grapes, corn, beans, beef, pork, through shrimp, cheese, through ice cream, snack foods, tequila, not tequila, beer. Let's see, salmon, lobster. Oh, the nigga one gonna be through. Milk powder, butter, wheat, oats, barley, oil, apples, potatoes, maple syrup, whiskey. Not whiskey. But yeah, so all these are about to look like they have a 25%. And you know, I did a lesson last year that there was a article that said after January, we should start seeing a 50% increase of inflation each month after that. So Lord willing, it ensues, man. You know, and that you can see why this can create the famine too. Less countries sending goods over here. Them charging more for it. A lot of these things I'm about to say, prophecy is taking hold of the earth, man. And we see it unfolding before our very eyes, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. And peace and mercy to the elect until